Madam Speaker, no matter where I travel, or no matter who I speak with, and I think that everyone here would recognize that's part of the job of a parliamentarian, is to consult with those who send you to this place, to spend time hearing their concerns. Take time to sit down, maybe over a cup of tea or at a community function, and hear what they're saying. And I can tell you, I have the privilege of visiting those and talking with Canadians in my region and those in New Brunswick and hearing what they're saying. And what they're saying is very clear. Wow, it's direct. They're tired of what they're seeing. They're frustrated, but more concerning is they are truly troubled by what they see happening within Canada. I hear it expressed over and over again. This does not feel like the Canada that we grew up in. This does not feel like the Canada that we've come to love and adore. There's a cloud over us, and somehow they are wishing and longing for that cloud to break. And it's in the midst of this uncertainty, and in the midst of this malaise, and when you have scandal after scandal, and dysfunction after dysfunction, and it seems and appears that the great ship of Canada is rudderless, lost upon a sea in a gale, without a sail, wondering who's at the helm steering the ship, Canadians are getting concerned. And they're saying, we need a change in direction, and if we don't get that change in direction, we're very worried about the direction that we're going as a country. It's time for change. And that voice is being heard more and more in every conversation that I have. It reminds me, Madam Speaker, as I was preparing on this and reflecting on what I would share today, it's funny how things come back to you. And I recalled a book that I'd read many years ago. It was written by someone who worked in a senior position in a White House, a previous administration of over 2 decades ago. This lady was writing of her experiences, and she was telling how after a very traumatic event in her time of service, she was taking the commuter train on her way back to the White House, and she was rocked and she was emotionally distraught. And she took the time, and she remembers very clearly when she looked down at her watch, and it hit her. Right now, I personally, and our country collectively, and our world collectively, are 10 minutes past normal. Hence the name of her book, 10 minutes past normal. What I hear coming from Canadians coast to coast is something very similar. They feel like we're somewhere as a country past normal. Not just 10 minutes, but perhaps 9 years. They're feeling a malaise and a heaviness in their hearts, saying, we're not the country we used to be. We don't have the priorities we once had. We don't have the confidence that we used to have. They're not used to seeing the displays that we're seeing in our streets. It troubled and rocked all Canadians, and I'm sure it did all members of this House, to see the Canadian flag being burnt and chants of death to Canada and death to our allies going up from our streets. People are concerned, and they're saying, whoa, this is not the Canada we envisioned. This is not the Canada of our childhood. This is not the Canada where we could dream of having families and building a home and being able to live and thrive and pursue those things that we thought were lofty ideals but yet felt were still attainable. Right now, there's insecurity, there's fear, and they're feeling like we're a long ways past a place called normal, and we almost are longing for normal like a long-lost friend.